Yes, in theory, the purpose of the report is to assess Georgia's progress as an EU candidate state in its path towards EU membership. Of course, we all understand that today the situation is very far from what we understand as progress for a candidate country. After the falsified parliamentary elections, the violence against the peaceful protesters and the political repressions that followed, it is hardly possible to talk about progress. Georgia's candidacy has been de facto suspended. Georgian Dream self-appointed authorities have distanced themselves from the EU in every way possible, suspending EU accession talks, shattering the values on which our cooperation stands, and actively attacking the EU through their hostile rhetoric and disinformation. In contrast, thousands of Georgian people continue to protest on the streets every day during the winter time, fighting for a democratic and pro-European future of their country. The initial draft of the report that I am presenting is based on European Parliament's 3 recent resolutions on Georgia. The main points are the following. We condemn the democratic backsliding of the past few years that culminated with the rigged parliamentary elections in October 2024. We refuse to recognize the self-appointed Georgian Dream authorities. We condemn the violence and continuing deliberate destruction of the environment for Georgia's civil society. We note daily mass protests which have been continuing for months. The only way out of this crisis is to hold new democratic elections. The report notes that the EU has an important role to play and a duty to review its relationship with Georgia. Regrettably, the response by the member states, except few, the Council and the Commission, has been inadequate. There has been little reaction to our European Parliament resolutions on the situation in the contrary. We owe it to the Georgian people who continue fighting with EU flags despite the violence. First, we need immediate and well-coordinated sanctions by the member states against the officials responsible for the backsliding, particularly Bidzina Ivanishvili. Second, we need to review our policy towards Georgia, including the visa-free regime and association agreement. Third, we must support much more comprehensively the civil society and the independent media. According to our own rules, the initial draft report is limited in length. In the next weeks, we will have an opportunity to further elaborate our position and table amendments. Frankly, I am not sure if there is a lot to add, considering that the accession process for Georgia is de facto suspended. Details of specific clusters matter little when the foundation of our cooperation, democracy, rule of law, respect for human rights have been shattered. And my last message, just from today's, even after the most recent, although quite soft, Commission's message to the Georgia Dream, urging them to go back to the pro-European path, the de facto authorities are going the opposite way. Every week we see news of yet more repressive legislation, including today. Just yesterday, the so-called parliament introduced changes to the law prohibiting the Georgian citizens to receive foreign funding without government approval. I am looking forward to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Thank you. First of all, thank you everybody for this very live and interesting debate, and especially to shadow rapporteurs who were working with me in line. We visited Georgia together, and that really was very important to show that the European Union is not somewhere far from Georgian people aspirations. Few moments on those I would say mistaken arguments were given, and just to answer maybe them. On dialogue with the Georgia Dream. I think that a dialogue with Georgia Dream, which has been going on for the last 12 years, has not achieved any results. On the contrary, the Georgia Dream manipulated the European perspective, lied to its people and to Brussels. Even the candidate status granted in advance was used by the Georgia Dream to deceive the people during the elections. Business as usual with Georgia Dream would be a betrayal of the Georgian people. Hungarian colleague mentioned the support. So I would like to ask Hungarians, how much support did they receive when they had candidacy status for their own country? So it's very normal that EU is helping for countries they are trying to achieve membership. No, I reject the insinuations that Georgia is not an European state. Georgia is a European state, one of the oldest Christian nations with a very rich European culture at the crossroads of cultures. Among all Kremlin attempts to subjugate states to its will and influence, Georgia was the most successful operation until this recent Georgian revolution. Having brought billions from Russia, Bidzina Ivanishvili, known as Boris in Russia, began his dark work in 2012. We see a state that has been taken over, captured, and the name of that taking over is Bidzinization of the state. That is why, if we want to remain honest with history and avoid repeating Chamberlain's fateful mistake in Munich in 1938, we have only one choice. We must help Georgians defend themselves against the Russian Empire. The struggle of the Georgian people for the European path is the same struggle that Ukrainians, Moldovans, and other nations are fighting against the colonial imperialistic Putin's Russia. Let's help them. Thank you, colleagues.